What's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. We are live and direct, live and effect on this Sunday. Not too hot outside. Actually, pretty nice out there. It had been like 70s or something. It was pretty comfortable. Not too humid. Could breathe, which is always a good thing. Who we got in the comments? What up, Civic Maker? What's going on with you, man? Tim, A6 of the Disco Club. Ain't he? Everyone hit that like. Yes, sir. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yo, what up, Fearless Floyd? What's good, man? Good to have you here live and direct. Yeah, man. Got some more reading done this weekend. Got to relax. That's always a good thing. Got to actually take a nap today. Taking naps is like, yo, when you get older, man, taking naps is like a rarity. You don't get to take naps as much because you're always running around doing stuff. But I actually had time to sit down and nap. I only napped for like maybe 25 minutes though. It was revitalizing. I can't nap for long for some weird reason. What's good, miscellaneous? What up, Cash? Good to have you here, man. No doubt, no doubt. Okay, that's what's up. What up, Angela? Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA Republic. Yes, indeed. Actually, I'm probably going. I think I'm gonna be in. I might not be in Fort Lauderdale, but I'm gonna be in Florida next week, actually. So you're probably gonna see next Sunday. You're gonna see like a different background. The quality is not gonna be as good because I'll have my I might bring I don't know. I might bring this camera with me. I might bring the quality camera. I usually don't bring it nowhere because I don't want it to get damaged. I'll probably bring the quality camera with me so we can still get the show done. Yes, sir. All right, so let's get right into it, man. Let's not waste any more time tonight. All right, let me show you guys this. Right, let's start off with a let's start off with situation as to why I tell people you can't interfere or make any documents made by the state. The state is its own trust corporation, and you can't bootleg trust corporation documents. And this is basically what happened. I always wondered why a lot of the immigrants that would come in, they had driver's licenses, and I was like, how the hell are they getting driver's? And this is when I was younger. I'm like, how the hell are they getting driver's licenses with no social security number or any stuff like that, no birth certificates, anything like that? How are they doing that? Well, it says right here, Maryland woman sentenced for role in fraudulent driver's license scheme. A former worker at the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration, which is very corrupt, by the way, has been sentenced to 15 months in federal prison for a part in the scheme in which people bought fraudulent Maryland driver's license. Marion Rose Payne, 55, of Harwood, Maryland, will also serve 3 years of supervised release. The Office of U.S. Attorney for Maryland, Eric Barron, said in a statement Thursday. She was convicted of conspiracy to produce and transfer identification documents without lawful authority. So people was basically sliding her cheese underneath the table to make them some driver's licenses. Now, look, pay attention though, because you're gonna hear something very interesting when we cover this article. Because I read through this article before and I noticed something. Pay very close attention. Prosecutors said Payne admitted in her plea agreement that between July 2015 and March 2016, she and another MVA worker in the Largo branch office would give driver's licenses to people they knew had shown fraudulent documents. Those people were directed to the workstations of Payne and the other worker who wasn't identified, probably somebody had rank or something like that, by Warner Antonio Portillo, 37, Manassas, Virginia. He has pleaded guilty to his role in the scheme and is awaiting sentencing. All right. The applicants were unable to get legitimate driver's licenses, often because they were in the country illegally. The prosecutor said they paid Portillo and the others between $800 and $5,000 for a driver's license. Portillo gave Payne at least $25,000 in cash and gifts for her role in the scheme. Prosecutors said she'll have to forfeit that much as part of her sentence. And all prosecutors said at least 276 fraudulent driver's licenses were given out. Now they don't pay attention to this, all right? So that's the end of the article. Now they didn't say anything about the people who bought the driver's licenses having to give the driver's licenses back. They basically just said that she and the other dude that were in on it, that were making money, without paying tax on it, which is, let's be honest, they don't give a shit about the driver's licenses, because if they did, they would have took the driver's licenses back from the people. They didn't take the driver's licenses back because the people are now under the jurisdiction and now are basically a part of that whole entire trust corporation, and now have they got jurisdiction over them. So now any taxes they pay, they cover. So they didn't take the driver's licenses back because they were fraudulent. They didn't cancel the licenses out. They just went after the two people who basically took the money. And you notice they said they got to pay the money back too. So that's what it was all about. It was a violation, basically. They ain't put out no taxes on it. That's what the whole thing was about. So that shows you it wasn't really necessarily a moral type of crime. It was just they were getting paid behind the state's back, and the state didn't get a piece of it. That's all it was. And it's funny how that works, because if it was truly, something that was like wrong or whatever like that, they would have took the driver's licenses back. They would have canceled the accounts. But they done got so many bonds, and they get and created so many instruments off of those driver's licenses, and they got jurisdiction. They collecting money from the drivers. The drivers have insurance, which they getting a piece of that. The drivers are paying for here in Maryland. You got to do Maryland inspection, so they getting a piece of that. They got the emissions testing. They got that. They making so much money off of this. They actually would make more money to keep the drivers on it and go back after the money that the ladies took or the dude took from the people. So they getting paid twice. It's not about right or wrong. It never was, man. It's all about business. It operates like a business. You know what I'm saying? It's not about morality. It's not about, hey, you didn't create the state of Maryland, so you can't do this, that, and the third. Nah, it's all about taxes, man. It's about them taxing you. If you making money in that backyard with their stuff, they better be getting a piece. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems. That's what it is. That's the facts. And she got federal time for that too, because I guarantee you she wasn't paying the IRS either. Neither one of them. You know what's interesting? We talked about this on this channel before. The IRS actually has a form that you can fill out if you're doing criminal activity to pay taxes on your criminal activity. Straight up, literally. If you guys are new to this channel, I will cover it again. They actually have a form you can fill out if you're doing illegal activity to pay your tax. Here it is. Illegal income reporting is what it's called. All right. I'm trying to pull it up now. Here it is right here. They actually announced this. I think this was last year, and we talked about this. And people was like, "Yo, why the hell would you do that?" And I'm like, "Yo, but everything they do is for a reason. Like stuff you think is like mundane or don't make any sense at all, it's for a reason." And I was telling one of these dudes I ran into, I was like, "Yo, literally the only difference between the Crips and the Bloods and the Latin Kings and all those other groups, Pyrus, all that stuff, and the government is that they got an EIN and they got a system set up and they got paperwork in place. Like y'all don't got that. Y'all are just out here. You know what I mean? Y'all got a military and all that stuff. They got a military too, but they got paperwork. You know, they got paperwork. I'm telling you, man. When you start to look at the way they move, it moves like a damn corporation. Take a look at this. Taxation of illegal income in the United States. Taxation of illegal income in the United States arises from the provisions of Internal Revenue Code enacted by the U.S. Congress in part of the purpose of taxing net income. As such, persons' taxable income would generally be subject to the same federal income taxes, regardless of whether the income was obtained legally or illegally. It's like you can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. Notable cases. Al Capone was successfully persecuted for tax evasion. Additionally, Soviet spies Aldrich Ames, who had earned more than $2 million in cash for his espionage, was also charged with tax evasion, as none of the Soviet money was reported on his tax returns. Ames attempted to have the tax evasion charge dismissed on the grounds that his espionage profits were illegal, but the charges stood. They say Al Capone, the reason he got hemmed up was because of the whole tax situation. You know what I mean? So he should have been reporting all the money he was getting for all the illegal dealings. I think he was dealing in illegal alcohol back then too, wasn't he? During the Prohibition era, he was dealing in illegal alcohol and making alcohol in the basement and stuff like that. I think that might have been one of the things he was doing anyway. Pretty sure it was arms dealing too. But yeah, man. So they said that's why he got hemmed up. An interesting thing, they actually had on an unrelated topic, they actually had They got something called the Inner Harbor, not the Inner. Excuse me about that. It's the Baltimore Lexington Market. In Lexington Market, actually, I had just learned because it's like a tourist attraction, so it's a giant open air market. It looks a lot like when you go to places like Thailand, or when you go to places like the Philippines, or any of those other other countries. You can go to Brazil. There's an open air market where you got different stands selling different foods and stuff like that. You can do your grocery shopping all through there. So this particular situation, right? You can go in and you can literally have a choice of different stuff. You can go in with your money and you can just go to different stands and get fresh. Dude, they had the freshest. Let me tell you something, all right? They had the freshest bread you could eat in Baltimore. The best fried chicken you can get in Baltimore, seasoned perfectly. The best donuts you can get here in Baltimore. And then underneath that, there was catacombs that I didn't even know they existed, but there were supposedly like catacombs at the bottom, and these catacombs were basically rooms. And back in the day, they would have these little parties and stuff like that after hours. They would let people come through and had, the rich or whatever like that come through and had these parties during the Prohibition era. And they would also sell alcohol to the people. So it was like a secret party that they would have, and the high society would buy the alcohol and stuff like that. And they would also move drums and barrels of alcohol throughout the East Coast. So yeah, Maryland used to get busy with the Prohibition. they used to get busy with that. But let me show you. A lot of you guys probably saw this, and this was a black eye. Here it is, right here. This was a black eye for Baltimore. But I tell you guys like it is. This actually happened. This was about maybe 8 years ago now. But as soon as this happened, there was plans later on that year to knock down the whole entire building. And hold on, let me see if I can. There we go. Knock down the whole entire building and rebuild it. Take a look at this.
To any shop inside Lexington Market. That rat just happened to choose Buttercup Bakery, a business that's been around for 45 years. Let's go to that video that first surfaced on social media. This cell phone video was captured by Milton Mitchell. It shows the rat inside one of the display stands. The general manager tells me a worker may have left the door open. A spokesperson from Lexington Market says this is an unfortunate situation. She also says a pest control company services the entire marketplace twice a week. A cleaning service came out today for this incident. The health department was also here and will be back tomorrow to determine if Buttercup Bakery can reopen. Now, I spoke to Mike Mastro. He's the general manager. He says he expressed his concerns in the past to Lexington Market managers.
I saw with the corner of my eyes. By the time I try to get rid of it or whatever, it jumped inside the case. As soon as it jumped inside the case, we threw everything out.
We just want our customers to know that we're doing everything that we can. And, unfortunately it happened to us. It could have been any stall. But it's no excuse. It happened.
Now, the general manager, Mike Mastro, tells me that he's seen rats running around Lexington Market, and it's something that he's let managers know about. And, he says that the health of his customers, of course, are first, and he's hoping that this situation does not impact any future business. Reporting live tonight, Karen Campbell, WBAL TV 11 News.
All right. So that was Lexington Market. This was about 8 years ago now. As a matter of fact, it might have been less than, it might have been about 6 years ago. But that actually went viral, and that was all over the internet, and people had jokes from all over the place, all over the United States. You had people from goddamn Russia clowning. It's like, y'all got rats crawling on the damn donuts. Oh man, it was crazy. So later on that year, Governor Hogan makes an announcement that they're supposed to be rebuilding the whole entire Lexington Market. So they knocked the whole thing down. This is about maybe 3-4 years ago. Knocked it down and they just rebuilt it. They just opened it up recently. So it's a whole new building. It's very nice. The outside's nice. They've got all new setups and stuff like that. It's a lot better than it used to be. But dude, the crazy thing is I had went to Lexington Market a few times when I was younger. And that area is not really a particularly nice area. You know what I mean? It's a pretty It's a pretty gritty area of Baltimore. So, the rats was out there. It is what it is. But when I was younger, dude, I a few times, bro, I done went down there to gotten food, not from necessarily that spot at the one time, but I had gotten a gyro from there. And then I do remember getting donuts from that spot one time. This is a while back, probably about like 10 years ago now. But yeah, the donuts are pretty good. I hope they didn't have rat feet all over them. I'm still alive, so I guess not. But yeah, Lexington Market is Lexington Market is Lexington Market, man. But yeah, Baltimore's had a problem like that for a while. I'm pretty sure it's not the only city. I think New York has bigger rats than us. Interesting. She gets federal time for defrauding the state of Maryland. Well, let's be honest. The state of Maryland is nothing but it's basically just it's a part of a trust, and the United States is an umbrella company. So I personally think even though the state of Maryland is supposedly trying to be a state, it's not. It's the same shit. They try to pretend to be a state, but the damn thing is it's a goddamn federal business. You know what I mean? As referenced in the 2020 situation with the C-19, how everybody took them benefits and privileges from the federal government for that loot. Once you do that, they got jurisdiction. It's federal. They try to pretend they're the state, but let's be honest, the republic is the state. That's what they hide from you. The state of is pretending to be the republic. They don't want you to know the difference. What's up, Lamont? Sorry about that. What's good with you? True, this ex-mobster covered that before. Yeah, I mean, that's facts, bro. Like literally the only difference between a street gang and the United States corporation is an EIN number and some paperwork. A trust paperwork and such. That's literally the only difference. What up, K2? Speak easy. Are you talking about the underneath? Yeah. It was like a stone catacomb. It was pretty interesting, like stone bricks. It looked like it was built in the medieval days the way it was, but it was basically dirt floor and like just stone, and then rooms. But it didn't really have doors. It just had like different like areas, that were like they look like rooms without doors. What up, Zakiba? Good to have you here, champ. Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in, Chief. What up, Wolf? Nearly all states of or federalized and getting that. Yes, sir. So they can on the payroll, what it do to A to the. Yo, what's up, man? Good to have you here. Yes, indeed. Thank you for sharing the channel. And thank you for inviting people to come to the channel, Wolf. I greatly appreciate it. Wolf is one of my greatest supporters, man. Go subscribe to him, man. Send some love to Wolf. Hit his Cash App. You know what I mean? Hook that man up. Great dude there. Interesting, man. You can people that you've never actually physically met before can be more closer than people you're related to. That's interesting. Sometimes you got people who's supposed to be family that'll stab you in the back faster than somebody you never met. It's interesting how that works, though, isn't it? You might have somebody you meet on a job that might be much closer and cooler than somebody that's supposed to be a family member or something like that. It's just interesting how that works. But I suppose ties aren't necessarily by blood; ties are by spirit. You got the similar spirit with somebody else. The bond is there. That's good stuff, though. Yes, indeed. All right, let's continue, shall we? But yeah, I agree with Wolf. Pretty much all of them are federal. States of are federal. All right, let's take a look at this. Now, this other YouTuber right here tries to break down exactly why the Brittany, what's her name? Brittany Griner, I think her name is. The lady basketball player who sounds like a man and is probably really a man that got arrested in Russia, quote unquote. And I told people I don't know about this because I'll be honest, I did not dive into it because I honestly don't care at all because reasons. But let's look into this. My man breaks it down. Let's see what he's talking about here. I started listening to this. I never got a chance to finish it. So this is brought to you by Mag Truth on YouTube. Go subscribe to his channel if you're interested in watching more of his videos. But he takes 40 minutes and 44 seconds to break down exactly why the world is a stage and why the Brittany Griner situation is a psyop. Let's get into it, shall we?
Again on more revealing truth. Now, I always tell the masses, waking them up on these drags that they got in the fame. You know what I mean? Drags that famous on the masses. You never understand. Now, take a look at this Brittany Griner right here playing the WNBA as a woman, but he's a big old man right there in plain sight. and a lot of people sleep on it. And I show you that they're the one they use to run psyop. They use the drugs to run psyop on the masses' brain, and you never understand why did they use this Britney grinder right here.
Yo, my thing is, has anybody ever heard it talk like, yo, this is 1000% a grown ass man, and you cannot convince me otherwise. You know,
For this agenda, this Russia and America beef bullshit they're giving to the people. Let's go into this right here and break it down. As you can see on screen, 9 year right there on the money. It's not a coincidence, people, why it's a 9 year sentencing, because it is a hoax. Let's get into this. Make it run. Take a look at this shit right there, people. Man in lipstick on. Watch this.
That's Brittany Griner just moments after a Russian court today sentenced her to 9 years in prison for bringing cannabis oil into that country.
The whole thing is bullshit, people, about cannabis oil. The whole thing is fakery. And not one time you see this one look like it's in a jail. It's a fake shit for TV.
Restaurant reports the harsh verdict may now set the stage for a prisoner swap.
Listen to this, people. Prisoner swap. This is bullshit. You think people in real life, they swap prisoners? You think they swap prisoners like real people? You better wake your ass up. Only fakery. Just like the president pardons. They all fake shit for the dumb masses. Government operation. You better wake your ass up. This show you that this is a hoax. Right here. You know how much people they hold in America from other countries? You're talking about prisoner swap. This is bullshit right here for the dumb people.
Intended to bring Griner and at least one other imprisoned American back home.
Look at this.
There's outrage.
Take a look at this fake cell block, people. Look at the welding right there. Look what all the bar, people. This is not iron. That's allo metal, they call it. Allo steel. Inside is allo. They use that for jail. You can use your hand and break it. Don't lie. You can use your hand and beat off that gold shit welding right there. That can't hold shit. This is not a cell block. It's fake for the dumb
Over
people.
Brittany Griner's sentence of 9 years
Look
in a
at this
Russian
shit.
penal colony.
Wow,
She's
penal
hoping she's
colony.
not-
And look, it give these sodomites something to talk about. This Whoopi Goldberg right here is another man in a drag, faking the masses on TV. Don't believe them. Take a look at this puffy one right here. Come to convince you that the Brittany Griner actually get 9 years in prison in Russia. It's fake shit.
Political prisoner. Yeah, she said she's hoping she's not being
And
used as
take a look at this one, plain black on the masses. It's another faker that come to bash you just in case you're black. This one can bash you and get away with it. That's why they paint him right there as a
agreed. I agree with that. Yo, they use a lot of what they'll do in situations like this. They'll take like a show that's supposed to have people that are quote unquote black, and then they'll whatever they do, even if they're not supposed to be another sex or whatever like that, they'll have them get involved with the shit to rile up the black people and cause there to be more dissension and shit like that. This is all we watched this happen so many times from the last like 40, 50, or 60 riots we've seen over the last 12, 15 years, which started with the Trayvon Martin situation as of the 2000s anyway. Started with the Trayvon Martin situation, and you had riots after that, and then you had the which you know is arguably another psyop. There was a lot of numerology numbers that were involved with that. You had the what is that? What is the other one? The dude Michael. What was his name? The big black dude that's supposed to be. He was supposed to be in a convenience store, and so to speak, they said he stole something, and then he's supposed to have gotten shot by a police officer or something like that. The police officer walked, and it was you know, I can't remember what dude's name was. That's crazy. But yeah, that joint too was a whole nother thing. And then you had the riots there, and then you had the one in Baltimore. That was a whole nother situation. You know, the riots here, that was crazy. The riots here were insane. You know, you got neighborhoods still recovering from that.
so-called African American fake on.
political pawn, but I think we all know that she is.
The WNBA star
Look at this
heard her
shit.
fate inside a cramped cage.
Look, a cram cage, people. You never see it in a real cell block. It's fake shit for the masses and always have on different clothing. They don't let you do that in American prison. How did they let you do that in a Russian prison where they claim that Russia basically going hard on people? Basically, a little bit of weed oil or cannabis oil get you 9 years in prison. They're trying to show you how strict Russia is and how Russia can be off just like China. All bullshit for the
Courtroom
people.
outside
Look at this
Moscow.
shit. You believe that that's a jailhouse? The people dumb as a rock. That's a jailhouse right there. Wow. Got on glasses and everything. It looked like he was in jail, people. Why it's so clean, man? Why it look like this? You never
That's a great point. Like, why the hell would a jail cell be this clean? Like they just painted the joint. That is a great point.
been to no fucking prison. In Russia? Come on, this is garbage.
Just understand, Your Honor.
The 31-year-old
Look at this shit right here. 31 years old. It's according, but pay attention. This is a man in a drag trying to look soft in front of the masses because it's a big old man. I already break it down. YouTube don't like when I bash this one, but it's a real man in a drag. There you
for
go.
mercy fell on deaf ears.
I made an honest
Listen to the voice about an honest mistake. What you talking about? When America charge people for drug trafficking, there's no honest mistake there. You don't get it or what, people? They're playing victim and the dumb people never get it. When you as a regular person get caught up in anywhere in America for a little seed of weed and they lock you up for that shit, a joint, they lock you up for that shit. So what's the difference right here? America got a lot of people from all over the world locked up here in America. And of course, they can't get them back. They have to do their time. And then when their time serve, America might deport them or something. But these people right here faking the masses, and we supposed to start crying over this one getting time. Get out of here. It's garbage. 100% garbage with the man voice.
in your ruling that it doesn't end
Listen
my
to the
life.
voice, people. But does it end my life here? Hope it doesn't end my life here. Trying to pull on the masses heartstring. You never get it. It's a drag. A man dressed up like a woman and fooling you. You see the deception? Don't cry for this shit
Her
right here.
defense team said
Look at
Britney
this right
expected the worst, and
Look.
it all came true.
Expect
When
the
we
worst.
saw
Listen,
Britney,
pay attention
I
here.
think it was Tuesday.
Look at these two actors from Russia playing the so-called attorney for the so-called Britney Grinder. Why they didn't send an attorney from America to go represent them? And basically, the Britney Grinder claimed to be playing in Russia, in the Russian league, in the Russian women basketball league. What a dumb shit for the masses. Why would you leave America, leave the WNBA to go play in Russia? Yes, a third world country, and they're doing all of these shit. They're basically American enemies. The American enemies, you go over there to play ball and end up getting locked up. It's bullshit.
So we talked to see you on
Look at
Thursday,
this shit.
and she
It's
said,
just a show.
"See you on Doomsday." So
See you on Doomsday. Because they know people, Doomsday is coming. No doubt about it. The government is setting it up right now as you speak, and hear them talking that shit, just mocking the damn people.
it's like she was right.
The harsh sentencing was carried live on cable news
Look at this
networks
shit.
in the U.S.
Yes, to pull on the masses heartstring. They want the people to care about these people that they put on. Yes, after they switch up their gender, they use them to run games on you.
How much of this is because she is a 6'9",
Listen.
black,
6'9", black. Listen, people. All of it is agenda. That's what you need to know. And they can never fool me. This is all bullshit. More entertainment in the pandemic. Listen what this sodomite go say on screen.
Networks in the U.S.
Listen.
How much of this is
Listen.
because she is a 6'9",
6'9" is according.
black,
Black.
lesbian American?
Bam. Black lesbian.
Yo, they literally just hit like 5 different social justice groups. They didn't hit the BLM. They didn't hit the LGBT. They hitting all the damn letters with that one sentence she said. She hitting all these letters. You know what I'm saying? She going for all of them. But this is what it is. This is what they push forward in order to push the agenda. They put that to the forefront, had that on everybody's mind, and they use that to pass stupid legislation and shit like that, dude. A lot of those trials that happen, they use fake trials to pass legislation too. I mean, this shit, you saw the Kyle Rittenhouse joint. That shit was fake as hell.
American. So I'm gonna ask you a question. If Russia was against 6'9" lesbian, black lesbian, why the fuck did they let them come over there and play ball? That's where that motherfucker basically living if it gotta play in the league. So I'm saying, if they know all that about the Britney Grinder, why would they accept them in there? And then now you're going.
Also, I got another question too. Maybe somebody can help me with this, but yo, if she was going over to Russia, wouldn't she have some form of like diplomatic immunity almost? So if she did something, she would get deported before she got arrested. Now, I'm not sure if they have any agreement like that with Russia. Maybe they don't because Russia and America are not on good terms. But yeah, or Russia and the United States, excuse me, are not on good terms. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I would think if, a superstar supposedly went overseas to do something like that, they would have some kind of immunity, not just be treated like a regular, mofo.
Going in with so-called marijuana oil, they can take you and lock you up. Why they would wait on that to lock you up? Why did they accept you in their country to begin with? If they're against you being black and a lesbian, get out of here.
President Biden denounced the
And
sentence.
don't worry about this sodomite right here, just playing with the dumb masses in the pandemic. Don't follow them. You notice what they pay attention to? All fuckery.
Moments later, it's unacceptable, and I call on Russia to release her immediately.
Wow. Really? Are you kidding me, people? Like I done mentioned before, America got a lot of people locked up in America. You think the prime minister, the president of those country, of those people can say, hey, you need to release him immediately. Come on, people. It's
been on
bullshit.
trial. She's wrongfully
Get out of
detained.
here.
Absent that, we
This
find
look like
the
an actor
sentence
right here,
reprehensible.
dressed up.
Russia expert Bill Browder says
I
life
got
in a
even a
penal
Russia expert and take a look at this character on screen and I'm done with the video. Nobody's that dumb to pass this up as a woman. Tell you got bullied in school when it was young and everything. No way. You could be in woman's school and bullied by a woman and you're a big old man. You're bigger than all of them. You're 6'9". Are you serious, people? Get out of here. See the Adam's apple in the neck or what? No woman.
Definitely an Adam's apple there. There's no hiding that. That's clear.
Man have this big neck. It don't matter what you do. You can't soften down this one to look like a woman.
Is a nightmare.
The Russian prison is hell.
You hear that? The Russian prison is hell. And
I mean, nah, it can't be if that's the case because look at the damn jail cell. The jail cell was clean as fuck. That shit was cleaner than a holding cell.
every time you see the Britney grinder is clean. Those are the things you need to take notice of, people. Just like they show you before with these prisoners in North Korea and Otto Warmbier, and he come out clean in white, all white, clean suit. Not even a speck, not even a scratch on him. And he's in these third world country, these wicked prisons he in. What kind of dumb shit is they passing off as real? Every time you see the Britney grinder clean and in a different clothing. Are you kidding me? And the glasses, have the glasses on the face in a wicked prison? Get out of here, people. It's bullshit.
They put a non-violent.
Look at this right here. Every time you see it, it's in another sort of clothes, another different suit. How could it do this, people? And what is that? The Ziploc in the bag? Is that the same thing that they're charging him for? Get out of here. Look at Russia sign, people. They got the same eagle, the double-headed eagle right there to represent Freemasonry. Why you couldn't see that? They all fake on the masses.
Together with violent
Look at this shit. Even a mask up man right there. All bullshit for camera. You never understand.
There's rape, there's torture, there's unbelievable
Rape
hardship.
and torture.
We spoke to the sister.
Get out of here, people. Rape and torture. Get out of here. All bullshit for the dumb masses. And look at this big old ugly
Another
bastard
American
come to lie
imprisoned
to
in
the
a
masses.
Russian penal colony. Teacher Mark Fogel.
Listen to this.
Almost like reliving one of the
Is
worst
that the
days.
same person dressed up in a woman clothing? Wow.
Agreed.
Of my life, when my brother was
Wow.
sentenced.
It's your
The
brother?
U.S. has offered a prisoner's
Look at the star post up right there, people. They're gonna exchange prisoners. You believe it? It's just a hoax for TV. You got to understand why you think it's Britney Grinder, the man in a drag that playing in the WNBA, fooling the people.
swap. Brittany
Look
and
at this
former
shit.
Marine Paul Whelan
Former
for a
Marine.
notorious arms dealer. Fogel's family
Get
wants
the fuck
him
outta here.
included in the deal.
Look at this shit.
Absolutely.
It's all
There's to be a
bullshit,
prisoner
people.
swap. Mark
Mhm.
Fogel needs to be part of that prisoner
Mark Fogel. It's a fake shit. 100%. Just like this Britney Grinder. It's nothing real about it. It's the pandemic entertainment. And plus they give you that show right there in the so-called Ukraine invasion. Yes, they got invaded by Russia. And of course, in the same time, this one right here, leaving from America to go to Russia with marijuana oil. What that dumb shit. You believe it? Man in a dragon.
All right. My man said all bullshit for the camera. I kind of agree with my man. My man had some bars right there. You know, he had some bars. All right, where we at? I missed some comments here. We got something else too, but hold on. Man, I missed a bunch of comments. There we go. All right. Damn, I missed a bunch of them. What up, Zakib? Bobby Hammond says it's the ones who close to you. Yep, that's facts. Every time. Try to pull you down. Say word. Yes, indeed. Dude, that's crazy. I've been feeling like that towards y'all. Dude, every time I get on the Telegram group and I talk to y'all, I talk to y'all here, man. It's always like a meeting of the minds, dude. And anytime we got new people, it's always chill. Nobody really trolling. Like we had a couple, there ain't that many, but for the most part, people chill on here, man. People don't be on here for no drama. People be on here to discuss, talk about knowledge and all that. Yes, indeed. My son's friend calls her super. Wait, what's super? Die. I missed that, bro. It probably is hella funny. It went over my head. I ain't gonna lie to you. Y'all need to show the one about the woman so-called shot the man with AR-15. I didn't see that, but I think I saw the one with the the lady who was supposed to be in the back seat of the police car, and she somehow got her cuffs off, which is bullshit. And she got a hold of the police officer's AR-15. They said she was back there for like 20 minutes, and she figured out how to use it, and she started shooting at the police. That I was stupid too. I seen a lot of stupid stuff this week. Straight dude, yes indeed. Rasta man was definitely on point. I mean, she ain't really crying. And who's taking pics in Russia for news? I don't believe it. Definitely an op. Facts. It's definitely a psychological operation, not a game. You know, not a game at all. Mag on. Joanna, man. Yo said Joanna. Yo took it back to the Living Color days. What? That was Living Color, wasn't it? All energy drainers. Yeah, that's facts. Yo. And when I watch these people argue about this stuff, and what it basically was designed to do was to get the BLM people arguing with the Trump people again. Because, dude, let me tell you something. When Trump was in office, they harnessed so much energy. When them riots was happening, and when I think it was a little before Trump was in office, when Obama was in office, they harnessed a lot of energy from those psychological operations of those black people supposedly being shot, and the conservatives online arguing with the BLM people, and they would get into it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. At one point, I was on the same boat because I believe what I was seeing was real, you know. But yo, like they would literally go at it. They would battle on these comment sections, man. You know, leave memes and stuff like that. Yo, it was nasty, bro. It was a lot of negative energy. But yeah, that's what they would do. They would just get on there and just, and when they get off, nothing gets achieved. When they get offline, it's a man, goddamn, I can't stand those goddamn this and that and the thirds. And this is on both sides of the fence. Good for nothing, effing up the whole country, such and such. We need to just, be rid of them or be done with them. They need to just leave the country. And this is the thing, like, yo, that separation and division, bro, that is literally what they want so they can continue to move forward. Because if they fighting each other, they'll never be able to see who the real one is behind the curtain pulling the strings. It's a man. Facts. Let's be American. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. All the agenda points and groups check, and double check. Drain your energy and distract. We will give you heroes to worship, but our heroes, thereby, no real will arise. Here's the thing about heroes, bro. Heroes can be knocked off too easy. If it's a collective consciousness with everybody just on the same page, you can't. There's nothing you can possibly. What can you? There's nothing to do. You just got to deal with it. But if you got one guy with a bunch of people behind him, too easy to knock off. Or buy off for that matter. Because they'll try to buy you off first. Joanna, man, looking drag. Eyes ain't puffy, hair ain't messed up. Exactly. These are the things we look out for. Why isn't she in a Russian jail jumpsuit? Things that make you go, What up, Thirst? What's good, man? Yes, sir. What up, Jimmy? Good to see you here, man. Crisis at the Oh, absolutely. But you know what's interesting, bro? Like, do you guys think that the celebrities and the basketball players and all that, do you think that they're all like part of the condition to them being where they are and getting whatever monies? Like maybe there's a secret alphabet organization that they all got to be signed with, or if their numbers called, they got to go do this op real quick. You know what I mean? Where they actually got to stand in. Because I'm telling you, yo, George Floyd looks exactly like that basketball player, bro. Like, it is not even funny. Hold on, let me see if I can. What the hell is his name? What is his name? I think I covered this before. Yeah, what's his name? Steven Jackson, is that his name? Nah, that's not him. Wait a minute. Nah, I don't think that's him. Hold on. Nah, hold on, man. Hold on. Yeah. I think that is, hold on. I think that is Steven Jackson. Hold on. NBA agitator. Nah, but see, that's the thing though. Like, this is what I was talking about right here. This was crazy because it's just weird how they look identical. Like, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Let me show you. And they look almost exactly alike. Look at this. Look at this right here. So this guy supposedly, when the whole thing happened in Minneapolis, and George Floyd supposedly got suffocated by the knee on the back of his neck. And me being a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, you're not going to suffocate somebody with a knee on the back of their neck. That is the stupidest shit ever. It's not going to work at all. You know what I mean? They would literally have to be they would have to be for you to kill somebody by putting a knee on the back of their neck. They would have to be like 4 years old, and you would have to be like 200 pounds and putting all the pressure on their neck for you to like do some damage. You know what I mean? That dude even looked like he was smaller than George Floyd. But I digress. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this guy. Yo, look at this dude right here. Look at this dude. And tell me he don't look like Floyd. You know what I mean? Like, yo, what are we talking about here, man? And then he was supposedly the most vocal when the whole thing happened. He was supposedly one of the loudest and such, and he was out there leading a demonstration, and they actually go into detail in the article. But yeah, if you look at this guy here and you look at Floyd, they look identical almost. Matter of fact, hold on. There we go. Yo, look at this is crazy. Look at this. Hold on, let me show you. Look at this. All right, so that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's the stuff I'll be talking about though. Like, you know what I mean? And even the situation that happened with the guy that was on his neck. That guy looked like the guy from the Dollar Taxi Cab joint. There was a show with the guy he was driving around and he was having people answer questions, and if they answered all the questions, they would get a certain amount of money for the taxi cab from the taxi cab. It was called like Cash Cab or something. I think it was called Cash Cab. But yo, that dude looked just like the dude that was supposed to be kneeling on his neck. So you know what I mean? It just, what are we talking about here? When we start talking about stuff like that, it just stuff looks weird from that aesthetic. And then you gotta start asking the right questions. You know what I'm saying? So is it a situation where they all in the contract? You know what I mean? Is part of their fortune and fame that they gotta do this shady ass stuff? You see what I'm saying? Definitely all those groups involved. Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson's. Yep. Hey, there you go. There you go. There you go. Yep. My opinion, anything on TV is a lie, manipulated to their agenda. Facts. Don't believe the hype. 100%, man. That's what we pretty much just ignore that shit. Now take a look at this. I say all that to say this. All right. So we already knew about the Brittany Griner situation. That's actually weeks and probably a month old now. But look at this right here. So apparently she got sentenced to 9 years, right? But look, this actually I just got wind of this today. Dennis Rodman says he's going to Russia to seek release of Brittany Griner. The former NBA player has tried to cultivate an image as an informal U.S. diplomat to North Korea and Russia. Now check it out. Dennis Rodman supposedly had went over to Russia to put in supposedly for a basketball program and to befriend Kim Jong Un, from what the news says. And people got pissed that he went back because North Korea and U.S. were beefing, so he went back. And they got pissed off because he went back and he was friends with Kim Jong Un. He's like, that's my friend. And they tried to give him a bunch of shit. They slammed him in the news. It was a lot of craziness. So this guy's about to get back in here and get involved again. Now, Dennis Rodman had my respect from the when I was a child because I used to love WCW. And Dennis Rodman was one of the few basketball players who actually came and got in wrestling. He got involved. So it was Dennis Rodman. I think Karl Malone did. The second time Dennis Rodman came through, Karl Malone came and teamed up with Diamond Dallas Page. And Dennis Rodman was an NWO member, which NWO was, of course, now that we look back on NWO, you know what I mean? Like, when we was kids, little did we know what this stuff actually meant. But, part of the learning curve, I suppose. But yeah, Dennis Rodman actually, he was in the NWO, so he ended up fighting. He teamed up with Hollywood Hogan, and Diamond Dallas Page teamed up with Karl Malone. They had this wrestling match, and Kevin Eubanks was involved at one point, I think. And then you had who else was it? Goddamn, Jay Leno got involved. It was crazy. Jay Leno got involved. Wrestling was crazy back in the day, but it was fire. But I say all that to basically say Dennis Rodman was a very interesting dude. He had a very interesting life, but now this dude's doing this. So take a look. Former NBA player Dennis Rodman said Saturday that he plans to visit Russia to seek the release of Brittany Griner, the WNBA star who was sentenced to 9 years in prison on drug charges early this month. I got permission to go to Russia to help that girl, Rodman told NBC News at the restaurant in DC. I'm trying to go this week. He is more likely to hurt than help, said senior Biden administration official. It's public information that the administration has made a significant offer to the Russians, and anything other than negotiating further through the established channel is likely to complicate and hinder the release efforts, the official said. If Rodman goes to Russia, it won't be the first time he has conducted informal diplomacy with an international leader who has strained relations to the U.S. Rodman has cultivated a relationship with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un over the past decade, making multiple visits to the Hermit Kingdom. He called Russian President Vladimir Putin cool after a 2014 trip to Moscow. In 2018, he showed up on the sidelines of the former president Donald Trump's meeting with Kim in Singapore. And he's credited himself with helping to secure the release of American Kenneth Bay from North Korea. That's the dude who tried to steal. And this guy was a bozo as well. This guy actually supposedly went over there and tried to steal something from Korea as a souvenir or a dare or something like that. And he ended up getting sentenced to, like, I think they said it was 33 years, which is, of course, the number 33. I can't remember how many. Yeah, I think it was 33, but it was supposed to be 33 years of hard labor where he's lifting heavy ass rocks all day and, with his bare hands, and he might get a 5-minute break and he might get to eat once a week. It's supposed to be like torture over that bad boy. So, yeah, there was that. So Dennis Rodman is apparently supposed to be getting involved. So this is going to be, more part of the show and more part of the entertainment as such, with this dude supposed to be going over there to get involved with it. Very interesting situation, but okay. And Derek Chauvin and George Floyd worked together before that part. Dennis Rodman is a CIA asset. Probably so. I wouldn't be surprised. OMG, come on now. All these problems in the world, homeless, hunger, government, police brutality, and this Dennis Rodman on the news is important. It seems to be the bright light distraction. Exactly. We cover distractions as they come along to verify exactly what they are, distractions. Agreed. A poster. Yep. Facts. If you or I was in prison in Russia or anywhere, would it be a big deal? Would Ryman try to help us? Nope. And that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. People were saying, if Brittany Griner, if one of us went to jail in Russia, Brittany Griner would come over to help us. Exactly. So it's all psychological operation, man. More distractions, more entertainment for the people, something to talk about at the water cooler, keep the masses entertained. You know what I mean? All right. All right, let's talk about this right here. I think we might have. I don't think we covered this particular. Maybe we did, but I'm gonna do it again just because I want you guys to be aware of this. So look, Capital One has a $190 million data breach settlement. All right. So if you have a Capital One card or such, you need to be going on this website, CNET, and you need to be figuring out if you're eligible to get some of that cheese. Capital One's infamous 2019 data breach exposed the personal information of more than 100 million people and resulted in a class action lawsuit that's been tentatively settled to the tune of 190 million. Plaintiffs in the case claim a hacker never would have been able to break into the bank's cloud systems, which were hosted on Amazon Web Services, if the company had completely taken adequate cybersecurity measures. In the complaint, they allege Capital One knew of the particular security vulnerabilities that permitted the data breach, but still failed to protect its customers, putting millions at risk of fraud and identity theft. Neither Capital One nor Amazon responded to requests for the comment. Capital One hasn't admitted to any wrongdoing, but according to the filings, agreed to pay a $190 million payout in December 2021 in the interest of avoiding the time, expense, and the uncertainty of continued litigation. Pretty sure I read that to you guys before, but if you are interested in it, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in here so you guys can get involved. Because if your shit was put out there, and this is why we talked about, here we go. I'm going to put the link right here in the chat. There's the link. So yeah, this is why I told you guys, if you can actually prove that your information was compromised, any social security number and such that you actually use, which is not actually yours, but is used by you, and you can prove that it was pretty much fraud done, your identity has been leaked, you can actually get a new one if you desire. Now, a lot of people like to do the SS5 forms as part of the status correction, but you got to get creative, because if you do the SS5 form, you're correcting your status. But the problem you might have is your number might already be out there being used. So you might be able to mess around and get a new number as a national and then do the SS5 form. So you got, those two things to work with you. Then you can do the PIN. Everybody was talking about, that's all the rave right now, the PIN code for your social, So there's a 3-piece that can really put you in the right direction. But yeah, go right here on this website. If you can get verification that your social security number was pretty much abused, print that up off the website, you know what I'm saying? And then you can send that into the right channels, and you can actually apply to get another one. I didn't know that. But yeah, you can actually do it. Got to go to the Social Security Administration. Sounds like he might stumble across the fuckery if he goes to Russia. Yeah. Hey, yo, how funny would that be if like this dude was live streaming from Russia and he actually saw like a big row of cardboard cutout guns that they were using, or the wooden guns they were using, and the military was supposed to be using guns, and they were made of wood. They were like flat wood. We showed that on this channel by about two to 3 months ago, how they were using they were supposed to be like AK-47s that the Russians had while they were invading Ukraine, and then they showed these soldiers holding guns they were basically thin wood. They were not actually guns. They didn't even have triggers on them. They were just like a black outline, which was hilarious. Yeah, man, Wag the Dog. I recommend you checking that movie out. They show you exactly how it's done. You know what I mean? Facts. All right, let's go ahead and drop the link on the inside, man. There's the link. Any guests want to hop on? Now's the time to do so. Oh, man. Let's see. Has anybody had any success using the general delivery that we covered 2 weeks ago for any mailing addresses? And you can actually change any address. Like if you are in a situation where you have to have insurance because you are driving, you can actually change the address to the general delivery. Because one of the prerequisites on the website is basically if you don't have an address, which if you're not a legal fiction, you don't have an address. Addresses are for corporate legal fictions. So if you don't have that, that would mean that you probably should be using that. I keep hearing about. I'm on this Telegram group. I keep hearing about people talking about Z plates. Like the Z plates, I finally figured out what they basically are. What they talking about when they talk about Z plates is basically if you get like a trust or something like that, or you get a business and you get a driver's plate for it or what have you for the car, they put a Z in a certain spot that lets the police officers know that it's a business plate. It's pretty much just what it is. So the same thing can be done with a trust. If you want to get a state plate, you can do that. But again, you start fucking around with their contracts, you write in their jurisdiction. So again, you be careful with those Z plates. But that's a whole nother argument. We have location inside of addresses. I live on the land. I don't know about y'all. All right, I see somebody trying to go live, but it doesn't look like your camera's working. It's not gonna let me add you to the stream because the camera's not working. You gotta turn your camera on. Oh, I'm sorry. It says instead of addresses, right? Yeah, he's right. Location instead of addresses. That's facts. Can you explain a little that addresses for corporate? What do you mean? You mean why is it for corporate? Anytime you get anything sent to you by a government organization, what does the name look like? Is it all capitals? It's all capitals. That's the corporate side. When you were born, you weren't given an address off the rip. You were pretty much just born as it is. Addresses are for legal fictions. An address is basically a postal code, and postal codes is a part of the corporation. That's all it basically is. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you do the passport, you fill it out the way you fill it out. You're basically stating that you don't live in any fictional jurisdiction. You live on the land. But yeah, that's what it is. So anytime somebody asks you for an address, you need to be clear that this is where you receive your mail. That's the whole reason you do in care of. You can receive your mail in one location. Like before there was the whole postal thing where they would put addresses on buildings. There was a lot of farm areas and stuff like that. So what they would do is they would have a post office. You can play Red Dead Redemption and see this. They tell you right on Red Dead Redemption what time they was on. You go right to the post office. If you have like, let's say you have a farm out in a rural area and you got to travel in town to get your mail. You go right to the post office and pick your mail up. You basically show your identification, or you have a certain number you have to give them, identification number, and then you pick your mail right up. So yeah, that's what the general delivery is for. Because we live where we stand, I guess it means right on the land. Yeah, that's what I say anyway. I know I know a dude who's a national. When he gets asked by any corporate authority, where do you live? He said in my body, which is facts. I mean, he's a spirit. He's not the body is not him. He's a spirit. He's just living inside the vessel. You see what I'm saying? So he's living inside the body itself. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So there's the link again. Anybody wants to hop in, we can definitely chat up. If not, I think did I show you guys? I think I might have showed you guys this already. I'm gonna cover this again because I had people asking me about child support. So I'm gonna cover this again. Before we go. Exactly. You right with that, Thirst. All right, let's go right here. Take a look at this right here. I think we might have covered. This was I actually got this idea from Jonah Bay. So shout out to Jonah Bay if he does see this or any of his followers see it. This is for the child support, right? So this is 42 United States Code Statute 666, which is the mark of the beast right there. Right? That is the mark of the beast. You have a freedom of religion. And in Christianity, it strictly denounces the mark of the beast as 666, pretty much. So that right there looks like a good case of not having your constitutional right to freedom of religion violated by participating in such a, you could even say demonic statute or such. Ah, man. But yeah, that's I thought it was very interesting how they actually, out of all the numbers they could have used, this is the number they chose to use. You see what I'm saying? Black's Law 11th edition deluxe address legislature's formal request to the executive to do particular things such as remove a judge from office. You have it. Wolf gave you the dictionary definition right there. What up, Rich? To A6. What up, big? What up, big bad Wolf? Brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to have you here. Continued equity practice to the part of a bill in which the court is identified with the do good peoples. True indeed. True indeed. All right, so yeah, that's something you can use. You know, when y'all create these affidavits, sometimes you gotta get creative. Do whatever you gotta do to let it be known that you do not consent to anything of such. All right. Now, hold on, I actually have somebody had mentioned something about that's hilarious. I can't talk about that in the public because it's in the private, but yeah, these guys are going back and forth on the Telegram group, and they're basically going back and forth about the passport. So it's not really a complex process. I mean, you know, some people are out there, you know, doing it different ways, but the result is what really matters. You know, as long as you get the same result, that's all that really. People always, when you do the passport and you get your passport back, you're not gonna physically see any, especially on a book. You're not going to physically see anything to give away that, yeah, you did it right. You just got to get out there and get your feet wet. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, when y'all out here doing these processes, man, you know, there's not going to be something on it that says, yes, you have diplomatic immunity. You're a national. No, it doesn't work like that. And don't be the guy that goes into a post office and asks, yes, I like a national passport, please. We're no, that's not how this stuff works. You can't go in and say you would like a national passport. No, you fill your information out the right way because look, these people don't know what this means. The gatekeepers don't know what it means. You know what I'm saying? They don't know anything about nothing. They just know go in, clock in, work, clock out, go home. You know what I mean? That's what they know. So as far as trying to explain it to them, don't even waste your breath because they're not going to get it. You know, it's just too much. So do your information, go in there, ask for, you know, you tell them you want to submit your DS11 and submit that bad boy, turn it in, and then get the whole process rocked off, and then you know just wait patiently for your stuff to come back. Now, I've even heard that if you get it expedited, it comes in less than a week, which is interesting because I did mine on the pandemic. And my shit took like 8 months. So y'all lucky if y'all get y'all's in less than a week. That had to been like the longest wait ever, bro. I did my shit, man. I was just thinking about like, yo, I can't wait to get my stuff, man. I can't wait to get rid of this goddamn driver's license. You know, I was new to it. So I'm like, yo, I can't wait to make moves. I was doing a secure party process too. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do all this stuff, man. I'm gonna get all this stuff. I'm gonna learn all this stuff, this, that, and the third. You know, it was a process for me. But yeah, when y'all starting off, man, y'all might get pushback. You know, sometimes you got the spirits out there or the gatekeepers that'll test you. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be able to overcome it. If you get pushed away from even turning in your DS11, you know what I'm saying? And you talking about getting your passport and going out and putting on some private plates and traveling, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening if you ain't able to get past it. Just getting your passport. Because let me tell you something, they're gonna try your ass. That's part of the process. They will try you. Continue. Equity practice, the part of the bill in which the court is identified. I already read that. Have you heard of the 7 seal process? I have not. My man Floyd he has the lowdown on all the processes, bro. All the processes. He always knows about. He knows about the W4 sandwich process, the 7 seal process. Apparently, I've never heard of that one. And the Black's Law First is as a place of business or residence for legislative bodies. You go all commerce, man. It's all commerce, all commercial. Legal fictions. P for paper on the passport. Look up definition. Popper on the passport. Look up definition. All right. He told me look up the definition, so we're gonna look it up. I'm gonna get old school on him real quick. Let's get the expensive joint, the Black's Law 3rd edition. Let's take a look at. I had something bookmarked in here already. All right, let's take a look. See what it says. Partus. Oops. I just didn't rip the page. Here we go. All right, so pauper in the Black's Law Dictionary, it says a person so poor that he must be supported at public expense. Also, a suitor who, on account of poverty, is allowed to sue or defend without being chargeable with costs. In Rehoffen's Estate 70 WIS 52236 Northwest 407, Hutchings versus Thompson, Massachusetts. Yeah, and then it says there's another definition underneath it that says dispauper, to deprive one of status of a pauper and any benefits incidental thereto, particularly to take away the right to sue in former pauperous because the person so suing during the progress of the suit has acquired money or property which would enable him to sustain the cost of the action. So basically, a pauper is from what I see, is somebody that's taking benefits and privileges. That's pretty much what I see. But I don't have, I ain't got no P on my shit. I don't know what y'all got on y'all's, but I don't have a P on mine. I was reading something and they said that, so it had me confused. About what? What we talking about? The pauper? Yeah, dude, that don't a pauper basically sounds like somebody who needs the benefit and privilege from the government of suing and having them cover it because he doesn't have any funds to do so. Which I mean, technically, I suppose if the UCC1 process is done right, because there's a certain way you do it where everything that comes in is for the trust, not for the man. But then again, they're not. You don't go in as a man. You go in as the. That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one. I'm not sure that would actually help you. I think that's a benefit and privilege, honestly. I think that's what that falls under. I'm dealing with a gatekeeper from. Oh man, that's crazy. The gate. I told y'all what happened when I ran into that gatekeeper when I went to go turn mines in. What up, Nicole? Good to see you here. Yeah, I told y'all when I had to deal with a lower level gatekeeper when I went in to turn mines in. She tried to tell me I couldn't turn my DS11 because I had a passport already, and she tried to tell me I couldn't turn in my DS11 because I already had one, so I had to fill out a blue 83 form. I think it was a DS83 or something like that. And I had to go. I didn't even really go back and forth, but I told her what time I was on pretty much. And then she tried to disagree, and I just reached out for the manager, and I went over her and got my shit done. She was pissed. They don't like when you do that, especially when you write. If you go over them to the manager, and then you write and they wrong, and they got to go back and help you afterwards and do what you told them to do because the manager told them to do it. Yeah, I don't think they use P for pauper anymore. Yeah, probably not pauper or popper, whatever one it is. Yeah, it must be for a U.S. citizen. Then yeah, that's a benefit and a privilege. Civic Maker, hang in there. I had to deal with one. Hate Keeper 2. Dumb people are dangerous. Hanging there. Yeah, yo, Thirst for Truth hit me up like twice. They was giving him shit about it too, but he got it done. You know what I'm saying? All right, I got here in the green room my man Stephen E. What up, Stephen?
What's going on, bro?
What's up? Your signal's better today, man. What's good?
Everything, man. Everything is up, man. I re-listened to our the live from last week, man. I didn't realize it was such a delay. Apologize about that.
It was crazy. We was like, yo, not only is the signal crazy, the delay was like 4
Right.
seconds. I'm like, this is impossible.
Yeah, man. Like I didn't realize, and I re-listened to it. I was like, he was trying to say, "Oh, you were on you mean so and so's channel?" So yes, to correct it, I was on your man Wolf's channel. Reached out to you, and I was on another brother's channel who I follow now. But when I originally reached out to you, it was on your channel. But I was trying to say that I was communicating you through my channel, the miscellaneous. Like that was me, because when I made that channel, it was like years ago, and I didn't know what I was doing with it back in the day. I just was gonna upload original footage, and I think YouTube had made some rule as soon as I started to play with it, right? About they was gonna start charging people to upload videos, and I wasn't feeling it at the time, so I just like, I just used the channel to just listen to other people's stuff, whatever. But that's what it was to clear it up. But yeah, did you see what I said in the comment about the crisis actors? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I know about the crisis.
Yeah,
I seen the.
yeah,
I've actually seen the applications.
Yeah, man, that tripped me. I learned about that. What was that? That was in what 2000 and I learned about it pretty late when I heard it. I think it was Brother Polite that brought it to my attention. I looked up to. I said, "You mean there's people that actually sign up to act, and then they're going to use it for real footage? Like that's devious, man. Like I didn't think they would do no mess like that ever. I was like, that's foul. That's foul.
And people take the money to do that shit. People literally take the money to do shit like this. My question is, how the fuck can they show their goddamn faces afterwards? You know what I mean? Like, bro, you know what I mean? If I see you in a mall or something, I was like, hold up, yo, you that motherfucker that was lying. You know what I mean?
Right. They literally and the public get fooled so easy because they're so quick to react and comment on stuff without doing their research. Like when it was some about the some immigrants from Mexico was walking. It's like if you pay attention to some people in the crowd, they got like brand new Jordans on, sandals, makeup.
Yep. The caravan.
Like how you walk off. Yeah, how you walk that far and you ain't sweating all that stuff and melt off you. And, you look too clean. So when Rasta Man was talking about the basketball player that's in Russia, I'm like, yeah, like I ain't been keeping up with it because I know that stuff. It's just fugazi. I already know that. Like I ain't feeding into that crap at all. People always quick to comment on stuff they know nothing about. That's why, like, I wouldn't report on like worldly events because you just don't know. Like it's best to have. Remember how back in the day we used to have a pen pal? Like that's really more valuable. If you have a pen pal, you can actually, if you know somebody in Russia, you can say, "Hey, is that really happening?" And they'll be like, "Yay or nay." Well, if you know somebody in Korea, you be like, "Hey, is that really happening?" Because you can't believe what you see online. Like, and I didn't verify with some people I know outside the country. Like when the COVID stuff was happening, it was like, "Yeah, that's really happening." Or if you know somebody that's from a country, you know what I'm saying, like the Chinese thing. That a lot of that stuff is real. I verified with about the Chinese government. They really old school ruthless. Like they police will come knock down your house, man. Like they on that kind of timing. Like if you talking crap about their government, they'll pull up on you for real. You break their laws, they make you'll wish you had the problems in the U.S. But it's just best to verify with somebody that's real that that's actually in that situation versus this fake news that people get anxiety all pushed up when their blood pressure pumped up for, and they don't even know if it's true or not. And it's like a lot of stuff is fake news. It's not true. It's simply, or they're mixing. They'll say something that's true, like we talked about last week. They'll say something that's on point, and then mix a lie with it, and it confuses people. But like I say, people just gotta marinate on stuff. Time will tell. You hear something, you don't react to it, you don't form no opinion. Then time goes by, you're like, you know what? Maybe that has some truth in it, or maybe it don't. But we shouldn't be so quick to just, get our blood pressure all riled up over stuff that's going on, because like I said, it's an energy waster, and it's an energy drainer, and it's to push division. Like you were saying earlier, it is designed to do that. Like they have an agenda they're doing. They'll spend all this time and money. Uh-oh.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm listening. They'll spend all this time and money. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it went out for a minute, but yeah, they spend all this time and money, man, to just drain your energy, man, and your thoughts. And it's like when they got control of your mind, that's when they got you. That's why, like, when I hear stupid stuff about these actors and all this internal fighting, I don't pay that. That's really a distraction, and it's obvious because it's like you don't really know. You know, I don't necessarily think all of it is fake, but I don't know. Like, I'm the type of person, like, it's okay to say you don't know because you ain't there. You don't know anybody in that circle. Just say you don't know. Like, instead of, you shouldn't be that type of person to have an answer for everything, because that's a red flag. Like, some people out here, they got an ego. They just got an answer for everything. And it's like when that whole Will Smith stuff happened, it's like,
oh man, that was the worst.
Like, I know it was. It was, and it was in everybody's mouth. A lot of people was talking about it, and I was just surprised that it got so much attention that it did, because it's like people get slapped every day, right? Like, why are we talking about that one? I know they too popular, actors and all, but that could have been a stunt to like boost up the ticket sales that Chris Rock is doing now. I mean, who knows? It could be multiple answers and reasons why that happened, but everybody had an opinion about it, and it's weird how we focus on a lot of stuff we shouldn't focus on, instead of like, we got problems in our own backyard here. We got people that are homeless, hungry, they being miseducated. It's a lot of backyard problems we got, especially in my city, and I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and they just a little slow down here, man. I don't get it. It's like 2022.
You said slow. You talking about the people?
You would think after. I'm talking about everything. Like, even when everybody would usually go to New York to get their clothes, like, things are not it's not a fast moving city. You know what I'm saying? It's not fast. Like, everything comes fast out of California, New York, other areas, even where you at. But here it's like we're usually last to get stuff. They'll send a lot of, like, for example, in the auto industry, they'll send a lot of lemon cars. Like when them floods happen in what was it? New Orleans. They'll send a lot of flood vehicles up here.
Yeah,
they do a lot of. Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of stuff, but yeah, I would say some of the people too, they kind of can be naive on stuff up here. But we got a lot of talent down here. It's a lot of geniuses down here, man, and a lot of stuff gets stolen. Remember, this was when I was born. The writers of Superman. It's a lot of greats that come out of Cleveland. I ain't down in my city. But I just wish they would change their mentality sometime on the unity factor.
Because shit, didn't y'all just get constitutional carry out there? Y'all just got constitutional carry, right?
Wait, you talking about in Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's like I wouldn't be happy about that. Like, I know a lot of people was talking about the whole carry thing, but it's like that could mean a couple different things. Like, if anybody can carry, that means just that anybody can carry.
That's not what that means.
So it's not.
Nah.
Say it again.
Like, usually with the constitutional carry, the way that usually works, if you're able to buy, like, all right, so if your all caps name is able to go and purchase a arm from a dealer, pretty much, and it's not in the felony category, then yes, you can go get one from the store. You can just carry it. Like, it's not a situation where you gotta have approval from the government. You gotta jump over 6 goddamn rocks and climb over a fence. It ain't nothing like that. And the thing about it is, here in Maryland and places like New York, certain places, U.S. citizens as it is, it was real hard for you to get a permit. The thing about it is, to me, that pretty much symbolizes which place the city's in. If it's geared towards more of like a democracy, or if it's geared towards like a oligarchy mostly, in a situation, the people have no way to protect themselves, but the criminals can. And if you look at how New York is ran and California is ran, that's a prime example, because both of those places are on the opposite sides of the coast have the strictest gun control. So, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was interesting, as to looking at how those places are being ran and how many problems they have. Like, people are getting robbed in broad daylight in Cali. You got goddamn criminals walking in with shit in their goddamn coat, And then a guy, checking their purse, and the other guy saying, "Look, don't you fucking move, or I'll shoot the shit out of you." And then somebody comes and pats your pockets, and it's in broad daylight in the middle of a restaurant. Nobody's paying attention. You just got robbed in a goddamn Red Lobster at 12:30 in the afternoon. What's happening there? You know what I'm saying? So there's that.
Yeah. Well, part of that is because I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, nothing. No. It's a delay again. That's why he's hearing it late.
Oh, okay. No, what I was saying was that, I mean, it's been a fluctuation of different people from different states moving up here too, man. It's a lot of people from Florida, Texas, New York, different people from different neighborhoods that's in areas they normally don't be in that. So it's been a change, you know what I'm saying? I can pick up on it. Like, how somebody ain't from your area, you kind of can pick up on it by the way they move. And that's just something that you just notice by default. But I've been hearing about the gun laws have changed in Ohio. I admit I didn't really feed too much into it. I'm not more into the guns. I'm aware of them, but it's like that ain't my MO. Like, I don't want to be a person relying on no ammunition, no man-made weapon. I would want to rely on my hands more than anything, or stuff that I can make from scratch. I wouldn't want to just rely on it. But I'm aware that, because what they were doing at one point was, with the concealed carry, they had like a license you would do, right? And what I thought was dumb about it, because I had took the test years ago back in the day, like probably maybe I think 03, 05, but I didn't actually go through the whole thing with it, right? And it felt like a trap, because you would take the test for carrying concealed, so you're pretty much paying for your rights. You know what I'm saying? What did I say last time? Like your privilege, you're paying for your privilege, right? And it's saying in the Constitution you have a right to bear arms, and they want you to pay a license fee to do it. And then when you get a license, you're held to a standard. Even in real estate, you get a real estate, you're held to a higher standards. I remember years ago I was going to go through with that, and they asked you all these stupid questions like, do you know anybody in your family that owns these stocks? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it just seemed like it's trappy to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, when you get the CCW license, when they were charging people, it was embedded in your license. So I mean, if they pull you over, it's going to show up under your license. And then this is the other dumb rule they was hitting people on, because the people I was around was getting hit with this left and right. The cop would ask you, you forgetting to tell me something, and you'd be like, what? Or you got your weapon with you, and you'd be like, oh no, you supposed to tell us. And it's like this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And then you paying for your rights, and I'm like, and this other thing that's crazy. And then if you empty the clip out on somebody and they come in your house, they can charge you with excessive force. And I thought that was trappy too. Like,
that's
if
crazy.
Somebody come in my house, I should be able to do what I want to do. No, it is crazy. Like, and we was talking about this not too long ago at my the martial arts spot, right? Talking about how some people that they was affiliated with, they actually killed somebody in self-defense, and they went to prison for this stuff. And it's like, so what was they supposed to do? Stand there and let the guy attack them and hope they don't kill them? It's like, how many situations have we heard about where somebody said they felt threatened, especially in law? They felt threatened. They thought they saw something, and they lit them up like a Christmas tree. But here you're using your bare hands, and they want to make an example at you, like, you want to be a smart or a tough ass, so we're gonna make an example at you. It's like, no, if somebody come within your within reaching range, like they're gonna do harm to you, you need to handle your business. It shouldn't be about explaining and spending money and all the stress about defending yourself in because see, it come back to that straw man, because they don't really care about somebody getting killed. That's just the shenanigans they pull, because when somebody gets killed, it's like you ended their straw man early. It's like, who is you to end their straw man? They don't really care.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah,
that's the games they play, and they get right. It's about business. It's a commercial business. It's like you ended that person.
They had a lot more money to make off that straw man, and you just cut that cheese short
off that trust. Right, and that's what it's really about. It ain't about they care about somebody killing somebody. If that's the point, then everybody would get it. What's the one kid years ago? He was from a rich family. He ran over some people and killed more than one people.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
3 folks, I think. He was drunk. He was young, and his family was on some oil rigs, and they let him off with some probation. It's like, I mean, you killed somebody, but you weren't drunk before you drank the stuff. So you saw exactly what you was doing. You was well conscious of in your mind, what you was doing before you put that stuff in your body to make you, allegedly drunk or whatever. And that's just an excuse. So it's like, it should be the same punishment. Like the law I would go by would be universal law. Universal law is when you stick your hand in the socket, I get shot. You stick your hand in the socket, you get shot. A minister stick his hand in the socket, a baby. It's the same rules for everybody. You touch the stove, you get burnt. There's nothing that changes. It shouldn't be no, well, status and color and all of this and who that's how I know this stuff is wrong, because
In a
they don't
perfect
go by
world, you're
universal
absolutely
law,
right.
and that's what they should go
Definitely.
by.
Let me read this comment though. We
And
got
you
a
told
consular
yeah.
carrier in New Jersey, but it's another contract. Why does a state national need a license? That's facts. That's facts. And then some other people will look at it like, a lot of these police officers don't even know the goddamn Constitution they swore to uphold. That's what some people look at it like, yo, these police officers don't even know what the fuck the Second Amendment is, even though they took an oath to it. So how the fuck are they gonna uphold it? You say, yeah, I got the right to bear arms. You got a permit? So now you're looking at fucking, however many years in jail, some bullshit. See what I'm saying? But that comes down to them not knowing the goddamn law. Isn't the U.S. Constitution we carry, especially now after the Supreme Court judgment? Not exactly. The Supreme Court judgment ruled that basically that the states don't have a right to tell somebody they need a good and substantial reason to carry a permit or to get a permit to carry or whatever. It didn't necessarily say that they can't make you get one, which is, it's still bullshit because you don't need, a permit from a state. But the problem is you're going to run across a stupid ass police officer that never read the Constitution. And now you got a court case you got to fight. And if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're going to in jail over that shit, which is bullshit because the Constitution is clear as day. And you can't use the Constitution as a defense. There was a state national, Taquan X, who actually ended up going to jail for that. He had his passport on him, and he got in a motorcycle accident. And I'm only saying this because it's public record. He had gotten in a motorcycle accident and he got knocked off his bike and was knocked out cold. So a police officer comes and asks him what his name is and stuff. Asks him, is he okay? So he asked him, does he have ID? So he's basically saying, my passport is in my bag. His bag fell off when he got hit. So police officer goes to his bag and what does he find? He finds a Glock he purchased from the dealership. His status has been corrected and he doesn't have any contracts in the new state he moved in. So what ended up happening with that particular situation, he looked up the address that was somehow they got his old. I think it was on some other piece of paper he had in his bag that had the Chicago address, which is where he used to live. And that straw man in that particular state was a felon. So then they ended up pulling him in their jurisdiction. Even though he had the passport, they pulled him in their jurisdiction with that address, and then they basically said, convicted felon with a firearm. Then they hit him with carrying a firearm with no license. That's how they got him pretty much. He ended up having to fight for his life over that shit too. So he ended up trying to go to court for it, and they basically said the lawyer told the judge that they wanted to strike the Second Amendment from being used as a defense in the case. It's actually happened. So you think you're gonna go in there and say, I got the right to bear arms? Nope. You're in the administrative court at that point. So when you go in that bad boy, you pretty much, you better know procedure and you better know how to play that game. So that's pretty much what happened with that. But yeah, you guys are absolutely right. You should need that shit. But yeah, you're on point. All right, where we at? I was born and raised around you. See, y'all even having a private convo. They over here having a nice little conversation. All right, yeah. So that's basically what it is, man. That's what it is. But yeah, I agree. I digress though, and maybe it could be the same thing like I tell people when you're traveling, when to travel, it could be the same situation as that. Like, yo, I tell people if you want to exercise your right to travel, you can pretty much do it at any time. But if you don't want to run into any resistance, or if you're not really familiar with how to defend yourself against a police officer that don't know the law, because a lot of these rookie police officers do not know the law. A lot of the more advanced ones don't either. But the fact of the matter is this: you get pulled over by that police officer, the motherfucker standing in front of you is the motherfucker you're gonna have to deal with. And if he don't know the law, you're in for a long ass night. So when you out there traveling late at night between I still say it's between like 6 to like 8 a.m., 6 p.m. to 8 a.m., you running into the rookies because they the ones who got the shitty hours because they the new guys. So they get the crappy hour. They get the graveyard shift. They got to be at work when their families sleeping. They got to be sleeping with their families. They missing their family the whole time. They're not even catching their family most of the time. But one day they get off. If they get a day off, they get to spend time with the fam. See what I'm saying? And I've talked to a few police officers that work for the force that can verify
you
that's how
also
this
got to
works.
add in, and you also got to add in the fact that like I spoke to one that's a policeman. I rode with him one time, and he said it ain't that we got quotas. We got it's a thing where they're not active enough, which is kind of the same thing. But when they don't have enough activity, they can get fired. So it comes into that, and then the other agenda comes into when they charge you falsely. You know, it's the state suing you, right? So when they charge you with a ticket, you literally can look this up. You do research on it. When they charge you, that's why I say the state versus John Doe or whatever. They got to be right, because if they charge you falsely, you can turn back around and sue them or countersue them like, hey, you charged me incorrectly. That's why when they wrong, they got to be right. Speaking of what you said about the rookies, so even when they make a mistake, they just be covering for them. So it's not like it's personal. It's like they know they got assholes that work everywhere. You got assholes that work every store you can think of, with their egos. I'm the manager, and they want to flex they muscle. And then it turns into a situation where it's protecting the brand and the company and the corporation. So they got to make them right, even though what they did was incorrect. So when dude told me that, it's about not having enough activity, they be looking for stuff just to, make up whatever. So whether they know it or they want to play dumb, or depending on who they are or what the situation is, that's another thing you want to keep in mind. They want to keep their job, and they're not trying to like lose their livelihood over us or anything. And I think, like I said, I think it's a few out there, like you made an example before, that want to learn this, that they don't want to stay on the dark side of things. But for the most part, it's just a paycheck to them. They don't even most of them don't even live in the cities that they patrol in.
Nope.
They'll come to one area and terrorize a neighborhood, and they go back to their suburbs, wherever they live at, usually out in the sticks somewhere. And it's a paycheck to them. It's the job. It's like, what else do they do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, writing tickets, to me, like sitting around just waiting for people to speed, that ain't really doing nothing. They really should just have a unit for traffic. It's like I think in New York they got transit police. You know what I'm saying? We got
They
transit police up
transit
here
police.
too.
Yeah,
It's
they got
like,
transit police.
but when do you hear about them really like stopping? Yeah, like when you hear about them actually intervening, like catching somebody in the act, like catching these pedophiles, or catching somebody breaking into somebody's house, like stuff like real hero stuff, not this ticket or you driving down the street and without one of your taillights missing. Like that's petty stuff. It's like that's not even real crime. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to do something more active, not come after the fact. And it's like they don't really do real police work. Like real hero stuff. Like you would think they would do. Like, but I know it's been like a new phenomenon since Corona kind of faded out a little bit though. There's been a lot of people going through red lights, like left and right. So anytime you come through Ohio and the light turn green for you, wait a couple seconds, because these fools are going through lights. And there's been a lot of people on motorcycles lately up here, like doing these going 100 miles on the highway, and it's like dangerous. It's like, why are you going 100 miles an hour and there's people on the highway? I mean, it ain't like it's 3 a.m. It'd be like you hear they go run and they be speeding, and I'm like, where the police at when you need them? Like, why don't you catch that?
Yeah, facts. I agree with that. Police
So
have
I
no
mean,
legal obligation to
they
protect
don't.
you. To clean up and
It's
write
like they
tickets
ain't
after
never.
road pirates. Facts. 100%. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%. Wolf.
Yeah, that's the bare
Yeah, I know
minimum.
one guy
Writing
actually said
tickets.
they should just wait at the station and until we call him. I was like, that's a very interesting thought process there. Just wait at the station until we call you. Otherwise, y'all just in the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because y'all don't catch nobody doing shit anyway for the most part.
Right. They don't. And then if somebody call and asks for some help, they looking at you like you the enemy. You know how many situations we done heard about with the police, where somebody called the police for help and then they end up fucking them up. You know what I'm saying? There's been many stories about that. That's why nobody trusts them because they just like regular, like any individuals. Like you might go to the store and then some people are rude, some people ain't. You know, just for no reason. You don't know these people from Adam. They's got a problem, and it's like when you got that kind of responsibility, you shouldn't be working like if you're a real person, and you working with the public and you don't like people, you shouldn't have that job. Like I know people, the public is a bee to deal with, but you know, for the most part, a lot of them people shouldn't even be working, man. There's people that shouldn't be working even at regular stores. So they got such crappy personality skills. They don't know how to greet people. They're rude, you know, by not speaking. You know, it's just a lot of stuff. You kind of pick up on people's energy, man. Like,
Yeah.
and then you know one that kills me. You go in the store, you ask somebody a question, and they don't know. Like, I don't know. Like what do you know? I'd be like, what do you know? Like, you just hear on the clock collecting the check, but you really not here. Like if I worked in the store, I try to have a little bit, and if I didn't know something, I would at least try to have the courtesy to go find somebody that did know. I just wouldn't leave you, hanging in the aisle 6, be like, well, I don't know where it's at, and just leave it. I mean, they do stuff like that. It's a people thing, man. And like I say, if you do what you love and like, man, then you never really work a day in your life. And a lot of these people, unfortunately, they don't work jobs that they really like, and they miserable, and it's like they're trying to make you miserable too. So it's like really it's a problem with everybody, not just the police and it's like a lot of people here, they're just not happy, man. And it's like you shouldn't get in that kind of field if you don't like what you do. If you know you don't like people, you should not be an officer. I'll literally tell you what happened though, man. Last week. Let me tell you what happened last week. Me and a partner of mine, he goes to our gym, man, our martial arts gym, and it was a Friday, and we link up at a park. It's a park I've been going to for like 2 years. But I tell some people about it though, like, hey, if you got some time, we'll go up here and do some drills or whatever. And this cop pulls up in the area that you would normally get charged for impeding traffic at, and just watches us, watching us for no reason, and didn't speak. And it's like, it's kind of rude because it's like, I know it's like women and children over there, way over there. It's a pool over here, and it's like we over here, just me and him, just doing some drills, and dude just looking. And it kind of made you feel uncomfortable because it's like, he just like watching, but he's not like, you don't know why he's doing it, but but he didn't come over and speak, or because sometimes they'll nod at you and speak. Like I ain't gonna say all of them are dicks, but you got some that just look at you and you don't know what they problem is. And it's like, I know what time the park closed, but he couldn't say nothing to us because other people was there. So it's just people are weird, man. They have their own personal beliefs or whatever it is. But like I said, if you're in that situation, like you're serving to the public, you're supposed to serve the public. It's very un-American to be biased like that for no reason.
Agreed. Let me interrupt right here, bro. License equals gag, restriction, limitation. That's true. That puts you underneath the statutes. That's facts. Thirst for truth. Look at the Telegram. Yes, sir. I heard a dude going to become a cop say about 20 years ago, if I get called for shots fired, he takes the long way. He ain't getting shot for someone else. But yeah, that's not okay. You know what I mean? What's crazy to show is how it's organized is that same poor performance of cops, store workers, etc., is nearly the same all over the U.S. That's crazy. That's crazy. He said it's nearly the same ratio between bad store workers and performances by police. That's crazy. My neighbor is a cop, not too bright. And you know what's crazy? I actually heard from a police officer to ascend in the rankings, you basically have to be a yes man. Whatever they tell you to do, you got to do it. You can't ask. When you ask questions, that's when you don't get promoted, and your pay stays the same. You know what I mean? You're not getting the those type of rests and stuff like that. You're basically not you're not going to advance. And he said they run it like it's a Illuminati or something. That's what he literally said out of his mouth. That's interesting. Basically get paid to hassle people for the most part. Because let's be honest, a lot of the shit they do is a hassle. But yo, I'm thank you for tuning in, Steve. Get with me next week, man. Thank you so much for jumping on the live.
No problem, bro. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yep. My man Stephen E. right there, man. He looked like Lupe Fiasco a little bit, but he was in there dropping bars. But yes, sir. I agree with my man said. If you're not happy for you know, if you don't want to literally help people, if you're not there to like instill a element of justice in the community, being a police officer is probably not for you. You know, some people do it just because they like to be powerful and they like to have the upper hand and they like to have the biggest military backing them. He called me in summer. Yeah, you told us about that. Yo, he said he read in the house. He never spoke to you again. Y'all was cool before that though. Yeah, man. That's what it is. Shit, he might not even be a goddamn. Might not even be a member of mankind. He might be something else. He act like that and just ran away. And he's clearly afraid. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. But yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm ready to turn it in because I'm a little hungry. So great talking to y'all tonight. Great information. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be live and direct on Tuesday, same channel. I'll be going live around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I still have been doing the shorts in between. I hope the shorts have been helping you guys out in terms of getting your mind right. I had somebody ask me a question about a short I had done. So I do try to get to everybody's comments. If I miss yours, do not take it personal. I know a whole lot of stuff between running a business and doing this and doing consultations. You know, it's been a lot. If you do need a consultation on how to get the national passport, or if you need any help with anything from this process, if I can help you out, I will definitely do so. If not, I'll refer you to whoever can. Holler at me, hit my email. It's right at the bottom. It's also in the description section if you guys need help with any of these things or if you have any questions. If I can help, I will. So thank you for tuning in, man. It's A6, the Foreign National Born Natural, and we are out. Peace.